Alright, so it's the next day. Let the stuff kind of dry up overnight. I did end up putting a little bit of clear on the side covers, and it actually looks fairly decent compared to the fenders. Decent enough for me. And the exhaust is all dried up. Again, she's a little lumpy on the backside, but there's the joke there somewhere. So I'm gonna go take and probably put the muffler on, and then we'll work with getting the guards back on it while it's on the bike. I think probably be the best bet, so the muffler can be held in place. So I'm gonna get that on there and we'll start on it again. Exhaust is on. Let's see how it sounds. Hopefully the front's sealed up. Try with no choke. That's nice and quiet. Only thing you hear is the air coming in through the carburetor. The airbox isn't on yet. That sounds good, nice and quiet. Stock. Alright, before it gets too hot. So I think the next thing we're going to go jump on is going to take the carb off, and it works fine as it is, but I think we got an old float in there and some other bits and pieces that were kind of iffy. And I grabbed a new carb kit, so let's get that guy back apart and see if we can get that all buttoned up and we can get the airbox fixed up too. Alright, so that's off the bike. A whopping 2 screws in the slide takes it off. Let's open it up and remind ourselves what condition it was in, because I forget. Yeah, it was a crappy looking float. It's one of the ones that was came out of the CB350 that I fixed and soldered and stuck back together. Still hasn't sunk. And again, like I said, it ran quite well. Yeah, it's probably just gonna pop the top, no, the whole thing. Might as well take her apart and soak her one more time. Again, like I said though, there wasn't much of an issue with it. That should be the air fuel mix for idle. And this is just the stop for the slide. This is the idle speed, and it just is a positive stop for the slide coming down for the idle speed. That one, it pops into the center of the carb. As the slide comes down, it just rests on that pin, and the more you run it in, the more it holds the slide open. This makes it rev higher. Something to be said about some of these that are simpler carbs. They just work so much better than the ones with the diaphragms and all the kind of stuff in there. And we really seem to have an issue with this style. And it should have all new gaskets, so we should be good to take that out of there. And again, we're still trying to save whatever parts we can, because that parts bike, I'd like to try to glue that back together with putting as little to no money as possible, and we'll just use that for a yard beater if it'll come back, but who knows. O-ring, and then we should be able to give her a bath. Soak it one more time. Hey guys, I was gonna do this on a question and answer vlog and kind of gather up some stuff from that, but about about 2 weeks ago, I opened up a post office box, and if fans wanted to send fan mail or something to me, they could, and they have been. And so you'll find out why I'm doing these in a minute. But I got a couple that came in. I just want to kind of say a thank you to the ones who did, and really appreciate it. And I figured I'd just kind of show you what you got. This one we're going with no name. He's from San Diego, California, from the return tag is. And I don't know if you guys can read it. I'm going to let you read it instead of me reading it to you. And again, just thanking me for hanging out and making videos. And ended up giving a $20 donation towards the cause. And I want to say thank you for doing that. With the $20 is going to go towards the 1.5 horse outboard that needed the water wiggler pump. I ended up ordering one, and it's about how much it cost. So I want to say thank you, and then you actually bought that and did that for that machine. So from you, that machine is going to live on. Just look at it that way. And hopefully I didn't mix stuff up. I probably did. I think this is Dylan. Dylan, known as Gruesome Jeans on YouTube, over in Washington State. And I love watching the videos. If your favorite vehicle is Krusty, mine too. And anyway, just visited Norway. I found these. I thought you might like them. Thanks, Dylan. And Dylan set us up with, I believe these are going to be keychains. I see the little holes in the top. How cool are they? So they may get used as keychains, or I may use them as something else in the my eclectic mind does its thing. But Dylan, thanks, man. Appreciate it. We have right here. We're gonna call him Jay. We'll call him Silent J. Silent J. I thought there might have been a letter with this or not. I don't remember. Again, this stuff's been sitting in my truck bouncing around. I thought I had everything. If there is or is not, but I sent over a set of playing cards that are in the shape of a VW bus. Yeah, my fingers. So, so those are gonna go in Lucy, and we go to a car show or something. We may crack them out on the table out back. Again, thank you, sir, very much for sending those to me. And we get set up. We're gonna go open one more. All right, so this is the reason why I'm doing this now instead of later, because we are in the process of doing this carburetor. I got a package delivered yesterday, and I was surprised to see the size of the thing, and then I read what it was on the bottom. This came from, again, I'm a noob as far as doing this this viewer stuff, so bear with me. But Mr. JRS on YouTube sent me a package, and he said, hope you can teach me how to use it, as I got one for myself also. And with that, this is what he sent. It really kind of is blowing me away, because I was able to read the print on the bottom. I haven't opened it yet. Let's see if I could do this. I'll slide it to the floor, and I'll set it up on the bench. That guy, it's an ultrasonic cleaner. Look at the size of that thing. Holy. How neat is that, huh? So this is something I would never buy for myself. I'm cheap. I'm cheap as far as if I didn't find it at a yard sale, I don't. And I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. All you guys that kind of mail stuff, having mailing stuff to me, it just seems weird. I thank you all very much. I really do appreciate it. And let's see if I pop it off the stand. This is what we got. So now I need to get some fluid in the thing so that it can be used for its said purpose. I'm going to try pouring what I have in there. I know it's not going to be enough. Actually, I might even take a run and get some more carb cleaner type fluids. How neat is that, huh? The real deal. That's a little Harbor Freight thing that I was trying to use. So again, Mr. JRS, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That is just so cool. I want to thank all you guys for just being my subscriber friends. So I ran out to the local box store parts store and grabbed 2 jugs of Purple Power, a gallon apiece. I guess they're already a pre-mix as far as the concentration. So we went straight in with those. And this thing would be I could barely get one of these carbs in before. Now look at it. So we're gonna go put those 2 guys in. It's already on. I haven't figured out how to do switching yet. Let's see. So this one's gonna be temp. I don't know what any of the numbers mean. We're gonna crank it though. Celsius. I don't know what degrees Celsius is compared to. We just run it all the way up. We'll let that start doing its thing. It will go time. Yeah, what do you think? 20 minutes? Eesh, that scared me. You could actually see the dirt coming right off. I don't know if you guys could see it. How cool is that? I could literally see it breaking right off of there. We'll go put the lid on that, let it go do its thing, and we'll come back. Alright, I got it. That's what it's set to. That's what it's at right now. It's at 22 degrees Celsius. It's set up to go up to 65. So while the cleaner's doing its thing, I figured we'd go look at some other stuff on the bike. And one of the other issues is the front suspension. Yeah, there isn't any. Well, there's no dampening anyway. Pumped all the fluid out of the shocks. You can actually see some stains and stuff on top too. And someone suggested just putting automatic transmission fluid in before you try taking it apart. I have a feeling we're going to go in and put seals in it anyhow, but I'm going to try popping the caps off, pouring some fluid in there, and see if that will come back. And if that is, we'll kind of run it around a little bit. If not, we'll get into that front at some point and do the front seals. I already have them. And I took the cap and the spring off of one side. You can look down inside it. Hopefully, see if I can do this. It looks pretty milky. Don't have a clue whether you guys can see that or not. So, gonna go drain that out, and we'll try putting some other stuff on it, in it. And that should be our drain right there. Let's go let that go empty out and redo it. How cool is that? What's the saying? Release the shmoo. See if anything comes out. Poke it with a stick. Oh yeah, that's a good vintage. So out with the old, in with the new. That's looked it up to between 4.7 and 5.3 ounces. I measured roughly 5. And it does call for, in the manual, to use ATF. And some people feel ATF actually works better than fork oil does. So I'm going to do the same to that on both sides, and then we'll cap it back up with the springs in and jump up and down and see if we get any dampening that came back. So I drained the other side and nothing came out of this side. So got 5 ounces in each. The thing is, it really does not seem like there's that much dampening to it. I don't see it leaking. I wiped off the sleeves. So I'm going to run it like that for a little bit, see how it is, but I have a feeling, I'm not quite sure what's in there. I don't know if it just has a small orifice that the fluid is supposed to try to travel through and it restricts it, or there's some kind of wearable component that's inside there that is having an issue. But again, I'm going to run it and see if it starts leaking around the seals or not, or how it rides, you know, trail riding and stuff. And if I'm bottoming out a lot, we'll get into that further. What I have is just the seals that are under here for the top that stop the leak from the internal to the external, not for dampening that's down below. So it's nowhere near up to temp yet. It's saying 39, it's going all the way, set to go all the way up to 65. But the vibration, you know, you can set the timer for whatever you want, but you can even just see how much that's just kind of doing its own little eruption in there. It's been about 20 minutes. Oh, we'll drop the jets in there. I'm caught. Looks like she's doing pretty good to me. I'm gonna go let her cook for a little bit longer. See if we like it well done. Let's give her some 5 minutes. See what... That's so cool. Let's see if you can put the sucker back together again. I blew it out, rinsed it with water, then I blew it out with compressed air. I noticed that purple power changed the color of the metal a little bit, a little darker, it seems. Maybe not. Inside the bowl, it just seems like this color is a little darker than what it was. Again, could be just me. New seat. And the seat is needle and seat's where the gas comes in, and it maintains a certain level in the float. This one had a sealer. Somebody put a sealer around the bowl. Just got done picking it out like a RTV or so. Yeah. A good place for a socket, huh? And that guy, throw new bowl seal on it. And it came with a new jet. I should see what size that is compared to the old one. The old one says, hard to say. But it ran good with the old one, so I'm going to leave that one in there. And that's what meters how much fuel gets sucked up. Is that a 10 also? I doubt it. Wrong tool for the right job? Pliers. Yeah. Is that one? We should probably put the bowl together, huh? Hammond, get on there. And we're gonna have a new needle once it pinches the fuel. And we gotta use the old pin. And we have a new float. New float came with a new pin. Scissors out. go like that. I think that's the direction. Let's use the new one. Come on. Yeah. It needs tappy tappy. I'm going to blow through that. I don't know if I like that. Let's look at the old float. That looks like it's in backwards. That's what I'm going with. That's why it wasn't shutting off. How about we do that? That looks better. I looked at that's why I put the float ball next to it. I'm like, those two lines doesn't look like it's going to fit in the package. Then I went to go blow through it, and I was just able to blow through it. So. That looks better. Now let's see if it's blocked off. Yep. And good. And can we do the bowl? Might as well throw the bowl and the bail back on, I think. I think we're good to go. Am I forgetting something right there? I think so. And we have a new one of those. Throw that in there. Now we can close it up. And we have the idle speed, which is going to be, which one was it? The long one or the short one? Do you remember? Let's see. Would have thought it was that one. Nope. That's the one. I can see it. See her poking through the hole. And that one. And this one will be our idle mixture. Something doesn't still seem right. I'm going to double check on them. So this is the air cleaner off the other bike, and this is pretty much a screen, like a rolled up screen for the filter, and then it has a sock that goes over it. The other bike was missing that altogether, had nothing inside there. So I just got done cleaning out, of course, the mouse nest that was in there and blew it off the best I can with air, but yeah, you can see it. The pores are kind of crappy. You put a light on the inside, you can see through it, but it's just like filthy. So I figure, why don't we cook her for a little bit and see how that does in the pile of soup. Let's go give her a couple of minutes. Still heating up too. It's getting pretty hot, but look at the dirt that came out of that. I'll let that soak for a little bit and see how we do. Well, I cleaned that, but it also took all the paint off too. So, word to self, make sure there's something that doesn't have paint on it. If it does, you're going to remove it. So that kind of clouded it up. We'll see how that settles out. And there is a big drain on the bottom, on the side of it, right there. And it'll probably drain, let it settle out. I'll drain it back into the containers, and I probably wipe out the crud that's on the bottom. Maybe we'll see what happens. If not, actually that stuff wasn't terribly expensive. I think it was $6 a gallon, and that would probably do quite a few carburetors. Washed it off, dried it up, hit it with a heat gun. We can fix it. Yeah. A little dusting on the screen part of it. I won't tell if you don't. So, this is the filter I got that supposedly was supposed to be for a 71 SL 125. I don't see that wrapping around there. But for now, I do have a pre-filter off of, I don't know what this is off of, probably like a 8-horse Briggs or so. So we'll see if we can seal the sock off of that. Get that on there. We'll just cut it down. Look, what you got? It's like putting on Spanx. Not that I've ever put on Spanx. Don't get any funny ideas. I think something like that. We just kind of cut it flush. And we go right through it. Like that. How if I clean that ahead of time. That goes on like that. And a washer and a nut. That whole assembly goes into that air box. So that pops in there like that, and then it has, it sits like that. I already cleaned the boot. This is the one I'm cleaning, we're going with. And then that goes to the carburetor. So let's get all that together. We can start it up. That's all back together. The only casualty was I lost the decal that was up here that said, you know, whatever, clean every 6 months or whatever that is. So we're still hooked up to this tank. I don't know where we are for idle speed or air fuel mix. We're going to turn it on. We'll tweak that as needed. So, shall we? Watch it not start. Let that warm up a minute, and then we'll do the air fuel. I'm going to open the door, going to let that run for about 5 or 10 minutes. So I ended up putting the original screws back in because these are backwards. The one that sticks out that you're supposed to be able to adjust with your finger is for the idle speed, but that's the one that fit into the air mix speed, and that one was backwards. I thought there was something wrong. So now they are corrected. The original two are back in there. This has got knurls on it so that as the weather changes, you have to be able to tweak the idle speed up and down, and you would just reach underneath and grab it with your fingers. You're not going to get a screwdriver out. But for the air fuel mix, you would put a screwdriver in there to go do so. So, aftermarket parts, what can I tell you? We're back with those. Seems good. Again, we're letting it warm up, gonna let it burn the paint off the exhaust. Muffler hasn't been used in a while. Watch the rust that's coming out of it. Oh, remember that hole I wasn't worried about in the bottom of the muffler? It's noisy. I gotta put a patch inside that. Probably just do it right on the bike. And the valve's gotta get readjusted. You can hear them kind of tappy. They're supposed to be 2 now. I think I set them at 4 or 5. I want to see how the oil flow is. I would say that has plenty. So I'm going to let that cool down. I'm going to readjust the valves and probably bring it up and see if we can patch that muffler just a tad. Well, there's your problem. Right where I pointed to earlier. I said that'll be fine. Yeah. So I'm going to take the flapper disc. I'm going to clean up an area right around here. And I'm just going to fabricate some kind of little patchy looking little thing and do my best to buzz around it and reattach back to it. And hopefully I have one last black paint. You know, give it a shot with that. Let's try it again. Alright, so I cleaned that back. And I went in my scrap bin. I had this piece of metal. So I cleaned up the end of it and I kind of curved it a tad. So my battle plan is going to be this. The main strip down below the seam. Get the light out of your eyes. The seam right there. I'm going to leave it straight out like that and I'm going to try welding to it all the way across. And then I'm going to start hammering it and rolling it up and around and tacking it and welding it as I need it. If I come right to about there and back down again. So I'll use the anchor point of that to be able to tap and mold and bend around it. Fairly thick stuff. I think it's 16. So let's get to doing. I'm not gonna probably show any of the welding stuff. I want to get it done. It's starting to drag on a little bit, and setting the camera up slows it down just a little bit. So back in a minute. That's all. Give it a buzz across the bottom, and just pulled up on it and gave it a hammering to form to it. Now I'll slice it like right here, and then I'll buzz it all the way around. So it's on there. It's ugly. It's on there. It's made out of thin stuff, and then when it's rusty thin stuff, it gets very popcorny. You know, it burns through really easy. So what do you want for? Gotta guess how many years old it is now. No, you don't. No, you don't from 10 feet away. 46 years old. That's what I was thinking. What do you think, cold start? Valves have been adjusted. Kind of went over the tune-up a little bit. Tweaked the timing a little. Lightened up on the timing chain. They have the timing chain preload. You have to go by sound to tell you to dial back till it rattles a little bit and rattle it in. This has got plenty of adjustment on it. So it's at the very beginnings of it. Let's see if we can do it without getting on it. That's the adjustment. when it warms up, you run it till you start hearing the engine bog a little bit, and then you loosen it up again. Just when the chain starts having resistance on the motor, and then back it off from that point. Sounds good. I did leave a little pinhole in the bottom of it. There, I rev it. Back brakes work good. Gas tank drop. I think we're jumping the gun just a little bit. I knocked my gas tank right off. Forgot it was there. Break it in easy. Adjust the timing a little bit. I'm dragging weeds. You need some good air flowing over it, not putting through a trail real slow. It's doing good. Not terribly hot because he's burning off all the paint and crap. There we go. So let it cool down. Keep cycling it like that through the temperatures. Bump the timing off just a little bit. And fuel's got to come up in octane. It's got like 87 in it. And it really should be running a higher octane. So I think those things will all help quite well. I think I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up here. It's probably way too much footage. I yapped on too much. And we'll pick it back up. We still gotta do gas tank, some wiring. What else we got on it? Front shocks I'm gonna leave alone. It seems okay actually driving it through the trail. Just seems like when you push on it, not as much as I'm used to. So you get some wiring hanging out of here. What else? I don't know. Ride it. Brake light switch needs to be adjusted. No taillight. So yeah, just chasing a bunch of wiring. So on that, I'm gonna go shut it down. I want to thank again all the guys for the watching of the channel and enjoying it. So with that, catch you on the next one. Bench aftermath. Almost time to go in.